y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and welcome back to my channel. Hey y'all, welcome back to another reading vlog. This is kind of part 2 for my Sphinx reading vlog series. That didn't come out the way I wanted it, but you know what I mean. I'm starting this reading vlog off with Solace of Memory by Allegra Pescatore. I just read chapter 1 now, and I am already hooked. It has great characters, great writing, great pacing. It's a fantasy book about our main character is a medic student, and an epidemic has hit and they need help, and he goes and helps dying victims for a month from the wasting fever, and when he returns, he's haunted by what he saw, and he needs help kind of coming out of that haunting. And so far after chapter 1, I am loving it. The characters carry this story so far. Obviously it's still early on, so we'll see if it carries through till the end, but so far I'm really enjoying this one. Well, I've just hit a scene in Solace of Memory that, as you can tell, has made me a little bit teary-eyed. The beginnings of each of these chapters, we get kind of a flashback to when our main character was a nurse on the front lines of the epidemic, and in this scene he is basically saying goodbye to one of his patients who is on his last day, and he sneaks him laudanum and says, "I will remember you forever." And the man says, "Will you please stay here? I don't want to die alone." And he said, "I'll stay as long as you do." And that moment, as you can tell here, just hit so hard. I wasn't expecting to cry reading this book, but here we are. So I just had to check in so you could see those real emotions. So checking in again now, I finished Solace of Memory. This novella was so good, so emotional, a very moving storyline, great characters. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I just thought it was just so well done. Pescatore's writing made me cry, which lately hasn't been a common thing. So that is something. It was just so well done. I just wanted to know more about these characters, which is great because we got 3 books following this novella, and I can't wait to dive into them. I had them all on my Kindle before I knew about the novella competition, before I knew that there was a novella and that it was entered into this competition. I had heard about the 3 books in that series from Josephine, and then the competition started, and I saw Solace of Memory written by the same author as the Last Gift series, and that it's part of that series. I was all for it. So right now, this is sitting at a strong 2nd place after Still Shattered Spirits. I don't know, just something about that book. It was the first book I've read in this competition, and that novella was just, nothing has beat it so far. It's got clear first place scores. I've got, I think, 4 or 5 novellas left in my allotment, so we'll see if any of these remainders can pull it out. But so far, my top 3 novellas for the competition include Shattered Spirits by Cal Black, Solace of Memory by Allegra Pescatore, and I think In the Lab of Love by Melissa Bobe. So this morning I started the next novella. I'm just trying to stay on top of this, knowing how busy things have been and whatnot. I want to make sure I get all of my novellas read and whatnot. So this morning I started Nyarai. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but we'll go with it. Nyarai, the Traveler of the Circle, something like that. And the interesting thing about this novella so far is it sounds like our main character is a giantess, which you like never see in fantasy books. You see them in some fantasy books. They're usually the villains. There's usually some kind of war going on against the giants. But how often do you see a giantess as a main character? So that's got me really intrigued. We'll see where this story goes. So I realized that I did a terrible job at checking in the last couple novellas for the Sphinx competition, speculative fiction in the Novella Championship, I think it stands for. So I've got a couple books to check in on. I finished a couple since my last check-in, which is why I say I did a terrible job at checking in. Nyarai, Traveler of the Circle by Noor El Shanti. This one I ended up giving 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a good start, but not quite there yet. And aside from the beginning, the word giantess is not mentioned at all in the rest of the book, which really disappointed me because I was really looking forward to a giantess story. But if it doesn't really play into the rest of the story, then is it really important to know that she's a giantess? The next book that I finished is Starbinder by Mark Timoney. This one I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I thought had good writing, great characters, a strong plot. It was light on the atmosphere and the setting, but it didn't feel like it was particularly missing it. It just wasn't as much of a focus as the characters and the plot. Now, the novella that I'm currently reading right now is Traitors Unseen by Dave Dobson, and so far it's interesting. It's a little bit of a slower prose, or maybe it's just my brain being slow from traveling and whatnot, but I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far. And after I finish Traitors Unseen, I have just 2 more novellas in my allotment left, and I am so excited to see who ends up being the top novella in my allotment. So stay tuned for more on that. Check in for you all. I have finished another novella for the Sphinx competition. This time I finished Traitors Unseen by Dave Dobson. This one I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars to Traitors Unseen. I thought it was written well. The characters were good, the story was good, just was missing something to make me go wow. But 4 out of 5 stars for Traitors Unseen. I have 2 novellas left in my round 1 allotment. I am so excited to be coming down to the end of these. Just started Becoming Solo by Joyce Reynolds Ward, I believe is the author's name. This is a magic witchy book, seems like. So I'm interested to see where this goes. So last night I finished Becoming Solo by Joyce Reynolds Ward. I ended up giving this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I thought, the writing was fine, but there was a lot that wasn't explained that made it hard for me to follow or to fully understand, such as the characters' motivations. What does it really mean to become solo? Why do they want this so badly? That was never really explained, so I couldn't follow that line, and that was the main purpose of the book, it felt like. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. This morning I started the last novella in my allotment. That is Molting of a Queen by Peter Foote. And so far I'm only through 1 or 2 chapters, but it's a great start so far. So I'm really interested to see where this last novella falls. I have one last check-in for you all for this Sphinx round 1 rating vlog. I have finished my last novella in my allotment. That was Molting of a Queen by Peter J. Foote. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I thought, it was told rather well. The writing was decent, but it felt a bit distant from me, which is a theme I find in some of these novellas. I feel like some authors have a hard time writing both in depth and in the short time of a novella, which I get it. I totally get it, but I want to feel close to our characters. So all of the novellas are read now for my round 1 allotment, and I think I've decided to hold off on putting this up until we're allowed to announce our semifinalists. So I am so excited to be able to say this now. My semifinalist I'm definitely pushing forward is Shattered Spirits by Cal Black. This was the very first novella I read for this competition, and nothing has been able to compare to it ever since then. I absolutely loved it so much. We are supposed to be putting forward 5 for the team, and we only have 4 people on the team, so we each are gonna kind of nominate our second favorite and kind of discuss and vote on that, which one becomes the 5th book. For me, the second highest book that I read and rated for the Sphinx Championship is Solace of Memory by Allegra Pescatori. So that would be my nomination for the second book that I put forward. We'll see where that falls with all the other second nominations, but so excited to be done with round 1. Some really great novellas. Some I am looking forward to reading more of the authors like Cal Black. I am already trying to find room in next year's TBR where I can put fantasy books. But that is it for round 1. I'll have a video coming out hopefully within the next few days of when you see this, of all of my teams, the Team Booktube's semifinalists and kind of what they're all about. The next round will be, of course, a semifinal round, and I believe each team gets 5 novellas in this round, and we're supposed to spread those out amongst the team members. Each novella, again, will have at least two people reading them and voting them, and then after that, we submit, I think, one for the final round, and I'm so excited to be reading these novellas. I hope we get some amazing ones in round 2, but that's it for now. And if you've read any of these novellas I've read, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of them? Which one was your favorite? Which one would you send on to round 2? As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back.